What if I make the wrong move? If that question has been playing on repeat in your head lately, you are not alone, my friend. If you're a consulting leader, you've worked hard to build your reputation, you've got financial stability, and a life that on the surface looks amazing and really successful. But under that surface is restlessness you cannot ignore. Maybe it's burnout. Maybe it's a desire for more purpose, more balance, less stress. Whatever it is, you're afraid to make a change because what if it's the wrong one? In today's episode of the Consulting Game, I'm going to help you navigate that fear of regret and learn how to make a bold but grounded career decision, whether you decide to stay or go. I'm Negar, and I help ambitious women and leaders in consulting to find clarity when they're at a crossroads. Let me tell you a little story. Imagine you're standing at a fork in a forest trail. One path is familiar, it's worn. The other one is less traveled, uncertain. You haven't been down that path before. You pause. You're afraid to choose the wrong one. But what if both of those paths led to growth, just in different ways? I always ask my clients this question. If I could guarantee that both paths would be amazing, which one would you choose? That question cuts through the noise. It bypasses that part of your brain that's trying to avoid risk and fear, and it goes straight to the truth. Because I want you to know one thing. There is no one right path. There's just a decision that's aligned in that moment. Staying isn't wrong. Leaving isn't wrong. The only wrong move is that you don't choose at all and you stay stuck. And I just want to be clear about something. I'm not here to push you to leave your job or encourage you to stay in your job. A lot of my clients find peace, balance, calm, whatever they're looking for by staying. Once we understand what their needs are and they start making intentional shifts. Fear of regret shows up because the stakes feel high. You might be worried about losing your status. This comes up a lot for my clients. Another one is making financial mistake or people judging you because they think maybe you're flaky for leaving or changing direction. But this is what I want you to know. Fear and the stories we make up in our head is just our brain's way of trying to keep us safe. It doesn't mean anything has gone wrong. I had one client who stayed at her company, not because it was the safest choice, but because after we worked together and we figured out what the issues are, what she valued in her job, what boundaries she needed to set, and what autonomy she needed to create, what hours she needed, she designed her role to fit around her life. She didn't change jobs. She just changed how she worked. I want to talk about something that we rarely do when we're considering a big decision. We don't give equal airtime to the positives. We just go down the negative path. Our brains are wired to scan for danger. That's just how we're wired. It's part of our survival instinct. So when you're contemplating a change, it feels scary and your brain starts running a highlight reel of everything that could go wrong. What if I lose my status? What if I don't like the new role? What if I fail or I regret this? What if the new people I work with are awful? What will people think? Like they're the thoughts that come up. And I'm not saying that these fears aren't valid, but they're only one-sided. It's just one side of the story. Most people give 95% of their mental airtime to the worst case scenario. But listen to me, you can't make a balanced decision if you only allow fear to have the microphone. What if you gave equal airtime to both scenarios? And you start asking yourself things like, what if this role actually gave me more balance? What if I actually enjoyed it? What if it had a positive impact on my personal life? What if an internal move is the best decision for me right now? What if that promotion worked out? What if I learned something new? What if I become a better leader? You have to give airtime to the positives as well as the negatives and the fear. This is about being fair to your thinking. You can still acknowledge the risks, but you have to allow yourself to fully imagine the potential rewards that are there. Because regret doesn't usually come from taking a risk that didn't pan out. Regret comes from not even giving yourself a chance to imagine what could go right. Now, here's a really practical tool with a twist. Make 2 columns. If I stay, if I go, and list your fears, which will be easy to do because we're so good at that. But if you put down 5 fears, you have to give equal airtime to the positives and put down 5 positives as well. You have to have the same number of fears as you do hopes. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to stretch your brain to give equal airtime to the positives as well as the negatives. And then I want you to look at that list and ask yourself, if both options are amazing, which one would I choose? Now, this exercise isn't going to make the decision for you, but it will start to show you the positives and not just the negatives, which can sometimes feel very difficult for our brain. So here's your challenge. Take 30 minutes, do the 2 columns, and when you're stuck, return to the question, if both would be amazing, which one would I choose? Decide from vision, not from fear. You don't have to have every single detail figured out, but you do need to trust yourself enough to move. Regret does not come from choosing wrong. It comes from not choosing at all. If you want help getting clarity on your next step, come to my webinar on Friday, May 23rd, 2025 at midday, Irish British time. Until next time, I'm Negar, and this is The Consulting Game.